welcome to SVG-TV News for Monday, October 24th, 2016. I am Jennifer Richardson with the details. Police Commissioner Acting Reynold Hathaway says he will not allow the integrity and legacy of the Royal St. Vincent and the Grenadines Police Force to fall short. His comments came in light of a video which went viral on social media involving an altercation between a civilian and two police officers. Commissioner Hathaway, who deemed the action as less than professional, explained that a senior officer could be seen brandishing his firearm and callously discharging it in the public. He noted it is a matter of serious consideration for the hierarchy of the police force. He added that since becoming aware of the issue, certain actions have already been taken.
Thereafter, the firearm was waving, brandishing left, right, and center. Anything could have happened to anyone. The incident came to my attention yesterday afternoon, and no sooner I got an opportunity to look at it, I called the divisional commander to have him parade the person in the camouflage trousers to my office. I subsequently called the officer in charge of the band, Mr. Sampson, to have the other officer, that is the one that was in the vest, to be summoned to the office as well. We spoke to them this morning and certain action has been taken. The matter is given utmost concern and will be dealt with in the most forthright manner. It is acts like these that the police force will not tolerate. It is unbecoming, totally. This is not something that we would push under the carpet. This is not something that we will condone. It will be dealt with in an expeditious manner.
Commissioner Hathaway said while he is still unaware as to the circumstances surrounding the matter, it is vital that the public's confidence in the police remains intact and that some police officers need to be reminded of the importance of professionalism, noting that the use of excessive force will not be tolerated.
The use of any level of excessive force is a no. We do not accept that. However, the stark reality is that at times police officers are out there and at times they are in charge of situation, and during those occasions they may act, and however when they do act and they act out of line, we do our best to pull them back in line. We are not out there with them at all times. Be that as it may, someone is always in authority when police officers are out on duty, and that person, the senior person, should take control of the situation. But we understand sometimes the officers, they will fall short, and whenever they fall short, we take the necessary corrective measure to ensure that they stay in line and do what is required of them from a legal perspective, and to ensure that the police force is not tarnished in any way.
And the Deputy Commissioner of Police Acting, Colin John, highlighted the easy transmission of news on social media. He stated this further highlights the reasons why police officers should be aware of their surroundings and carry out their duties in the way they have been trained.
A police officer should be professional at all times, and more so now that you're exposed to cameras. Like every person who can afford a cell phone has a camera, and it's not very difficult for issues to be instantly broadcast to the world. So you have to be extremely careful, extremely professional. I often tell police officers that when a constable, or if a constable go in Campbell or in Canawan and commits themselves, the commissioner has to answer. So you have to be professional at all times and have to do what you're trained to do. Police officers, they're given, when they're being sent out on duty, they are told about the use of force, policy as regards the police force, and they are to act in accordance with that.
Acting Commissioner Hathaway noted that after the submission of reports from the two officers involved in the matter, a final decision will be made as to what disciplinary action should be taken. A lot is needed to be done and corrected if SVG is to move forward as a nation. That's according to opposition leader and president of the New Democratic Party, Annie Eustace. Speaking on his party's radio program earlier today, as he extended greetings on the 37th anniversary of independence to the nation. Eustace noted that it is important for persons to reflect on the reality of the situations which face the country, especially as regard the issue of crime. Using statistics of SVG's crime rate over the last 15 years, Eustace pointed out that the ruling ULP administration, since taking office, promised to be tough on crime and the causes of crime, but instead is now to be blamed for creating conditions which feed crime.
There's too much crime, there's too much unemployment, there's too much of what is negative in our society at this present time. The highest rate, one of the 20 of the 200 countries in the world, which has the highest rate of homicides, that is, people who die by violence. Crime is multidimensional now. It's a complex issue. There is no single cause of crime, but it is accepted that lack of economic opportunity, lack of jobs, which follows some lack of economic opportunity, hopelessness, despair, and alienation is a contributor to crime, and Gonsalves has contributed to that.
Eustace further added that if Vincentians as a people are to have a future worth looking forward to, the issue of crime must be addressed.
That the ULP regime cannot fix the problem. They themselves are part of the problem. Look at the way this regime has handled public funds, taxpayers' money, with no accounting, no accountability. Looking at the way monies have been missing from Argyle, and there have been no consequences. And there's only what we hear about. Imagine what we are not hearing about. Violence, corruption are out of control in this country under this regime. So a new approach is needed. You cannot fix a problem if you are the one doing things to create the problem in the first place. A change is needed, and we in the New Democratic Party intend to be that change.
Lawyer and Speaker of the House Jomo Thomas is adamant that he is not against tourism development, but that it should be prudently executed. Thomas's stance comes in the wake of an article published in a local newspaper on October 8th, where he questioned the purchasing of 35 acres of land from the Mount Twin Peters Hope area by Canadian investors at a cost of $7 million Eastern Caribbean dollars. Thomas, who has been facing a barrage of criticism even from his own political camp, says there must not be a repeat of financial woes like that of the Buckham Bay Resort.
We need development, but if all we get are low-end jobs and rampant racism, our slice of paradise is not being put to best use. But I went on to say, we are in a bind. We want development. We want our people to make a better life for themselves. But it cannot be truly said that we got a good slice of the bargain on these developments. I mean, Buckham Resort is Exhibit A. We have given a lot of concessions to this business. I know for a fact, I have like about 10 of cases for workers at Buckham who, for communist people, got injured on the job. They don't get any kind of compensation. People who worked and got fired, they refused to pay severance pay.
Thomas defended his support of the ruling Dr. Ralph Gonsalves-led Unity Labour Party administration, but says he will advise the Prime Minister where he thinks he may be going wrong. Thomas stated that not because one backs a political party, he or she must blindly agree with everything.
I was in Ulimo when Ralph Gonsalves was there. Some of the very people who were saying that they're so supportive of Ralph Gonsalves now, when they hated Ralph Gonsalves and was listening to him as this big bad wolf, communist wolf, I was showing solidarity. I went to the United States. When the ULP ran in 2001, I assisted in the New York group to ensure that we raise money to help Dougie Slater get in. I have supported this Prime Minister because I believe that he's the best Prime Minister at this time. I said clearly in Parliament, I said it before and I'll say it here again, I don't believe in man gods. So I am prepared to interrogate anything and everything. One great man said that nothing is settled for all times. So because I support you, I am not going to say that because you pronounce something that is the end all of it.
A high tax is not an excuse that can be used to justify the financial woes of LIAT and the poor service provided by the airline. That's the view of marketing assistant at the University of the West Indies Open Campus, Ronnie Daniel, who was a panelist on Sunday's Hit Stock program, which looked at issues facing the regional carrier. Daniel noted that air transport is a critical component of not just the development of SVG and other regional countries, but a key component in the Caribbean integration movement. He noted that though LIAT's woes are complicated, he is critical of the notion that a high tax is the cause of all of the airline's problems.
So for me, it's kind of comical, and it borders on a sort of a dishonesty to say that, because how do you explain when we had competition briefly from Carib Express and in more recent times from Caribbean Star, that prices were reasonably low and affordable? So you can't single out one component of a fee structure to suggest that it is it might be linked, yes, but you can't use that to say that that's the reason why we have poor service and there is a major reason for the financial problems of an institution such as LIAT. That is, for me, that is comical and borders on dishonesty.
Comparing LIAT to other regional institutions, Daniel noted that its organizational structure is in need of an overhaul.
Because we can't talk regionalism and have the kind of structure that we have for LIAT. You see what I'm saying? It doesn't hold water, because the University of the West Indies is not, the model is not the model that you have for LIAT, and the West Indies is the West Indies cricket team. The model is different. You could say the services are different, the functions are different. UE is in services and educational services and so on. But LIAT is also in the business of providing a service. Of course, it is a different service. But the point I'm trying to make and establish, Bruce and colleagues, is that there has to be something wrong with the model that we have currently. And I don't know how much we have paid attention to that. 3 shareholders, 3 CARICOM countries are the major shareholders of an institution that is supposed to be a regional institution. I have a problem with that, and I just want to throw that in the mix.
Meantime, former member of LIAT's board of directors, Burton Williams, noted that complaining about taxes is an attempt to avoid responsibility for managing the financial affairs of LIAT in a professional manner. Williams, however, added that there appears to be a different fee and tax structure for LIAT in each shareholder island, which suggests a divergence of interest amongst shareholder governments and the management of LIAT.
That there is no unity of purpose, or there is no agreement in terms of the purpose of LIAT and what kind of service they want for each of these islands. It seems to me as though their interests diverge. All 3 shareholders, their interests diverge. Now, if the interests of the shareholders diverge, then you have a serious problem with the operation of the company. You cannot have the shareholders' interests diverging from the management and the operation of the company. And I'm suspecting that simply because when I look at the taxes, the rates of taxes, I do not know which, I could check again and see what is the rate of taxes coming out of Barbados, taxes and fees, but therein lies a problem.
After 35 years of diplomatic ties, this country continues to benefit from its alliance with the government and people of the Republic of China on Taiwan. Giving some highlights on his recent visit to the ROC, Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves, in an interview on a local radio program, noted that the relationship between both nations continues to grow from strength to strength, with hopes of establishing a Vincentian embassy in Taiwan, as well as attracting Taiwanese investors to SVG. Making mention of funds secured during his trip, such as the US $10 million soft loan and another US $300,000 to facilitate the purchasing of school buses, the Prime Minister expressed his gratitude to Taiwan's newly elected President Tsai Ing-wen and her government in seeing it fit to invest in the development of SVG's human resources.
Even more scholarships. The precise number we are working out, but we haven't gotten the figure finalized. We will do that over the period of the next couple of months. But she would like to have 2 or 3 of the students when they graduate to have attachments in Taiwan with businesses for a year or 2. And then before they return home, if they show the aptitude and they want to get into a business of one kind or another, they present a business plan. And the Taiwanese government would set up a fund which would provide seed monies for them to start up their businesses.
Right.
So that's in fact, I'm very excited about that.
16 students have been announced by the Ministry of Education, National Reconciliation and Ecclesiastical Affairs as recipients of the National Awards for the 2015-16 academic year. The students, who have been awarded based on their performances in the 2016 CAPE and CXC examinations, will be recognized at the annual Schools Independence Rally at Victoria Park this Wednesday. The 8 recipients of the National Scholarship who will receive full funding over a 5-year study period are Richard John, Avril Hamilton, Rhea Kane, Osini Lewis, Derai Myers, Luzanne Edwards, Kelsey Dowers, and Jodie Porter. Natalia Trotman, Karen Glasgow, Kyra Matthias, Dylan Michael, and Chanel Mondise, the 5 recipients of the exhibition awards, will receive full funding over a 3-year study period, while the 3 bursary awardees, Nafisha Richardson, Elizabeth Simmons, and Francesca Allen, will receive an award of $20,000 each year over a 3-year period. Richard John, who is recognized as the most outstanding performer in the 2016 CAPE examinations, will receive the Prime Minister's Award. John gained 9 passes in applied mathematics, Caribbean studies, chemistry, communication studies, computer science, digital media, integrated mathematics, physics, and pure mathematics. When it comes to enhancing the education system, all authorities involved must be able to think outside the box. That's the advice coming from Parliamentary Secretary in the Ministry of Education, Deborah Charles, speaking on a radio program as she gave a review on what she deemed as a successful second meeting of the OECS Council of Ministers of Education held here last week, noting that the meeting served as an avenue for education ministers across the sub-region to greater assess issues which hindered the development of the education system. Charles expressed her elation in the way the topic of technical and vocational education training TVET and its associated stigma was addressed at the 2-day proceeding. She also outlined that more emphasis must be placed on the significance of the nation's youth obtaining a skill.
Children feel whenever they are placed in a class where technical subjects are being taught, they have a lower self-esteem. They don't think highly of themselves as a result of that. But I want to admonish our students that skills pay. When you get into humanities, when you get into a mechanic shop, when you get into butchering, these are what pay. And we have to understand that. I'm not saying that, doctors and lawyers do not make money, but I'm saying that skills pay. We have to start thinking and letting our young people know that they can make a meaningful contribution to society. They can make a meaningful paycheck at the end of each month, just as competitive as their brother, their sister, who may have gone into medicine, law, or any other career path.
Highlighting that the Caribbean Examination Council, the CXC, has signaled the inclusion of e-testing, the government senator pointed out efforts across the sub-region to incorporate e-learning into the educational process.
E-testing is going to come on stream from CXC, and Antigua has started an initiative where they have thought of and are giving children tablets. These tablets would contain, I think, 40 books, but all of the textbooks for every grade that they will go through during their school lives. It also has a place for the Ministry of Education to monitor what is happening in the schools, what is happening with each particular student at every single school. And also, what they have also placed on that tablet would be a question bank. So teachers would have a little easier way of doing their work. I think it's commendable, and I think that we can look forward in St. Vincent to that initiative coming on stream.
Several young mothers here will be celebrated in an upcoming pageant to take place in LIAT. Organizer of the Miss Young Mothers pageant, Joanna Christopher Joseph, says the pageant is designed specifically to boost the self-esteem of contestants. Nolisha Miller has more details on the show and the contestants in this report.
I find that young ladies tend to give up on themselves from the time they have a baby.
Event organizer of the Miss Young Mothers pageant 2016, Joanna Christopher Joseph, is adamant that pageantry can help to give the contestant an impetus to achieve greater things. Christopher Joseph said she has observed in several communities that young mothers lack the confidence to maintain an ambitious attitude, and sadly over time has developed a mentality that a birth of a child translates to a dead end. The former national netballer said preparations for the pageant is proceeding smoothly, and she added she also take the initiative to have persons come in to talk to the contestants on matters regarding their future.
I instill in them that it's not the end of the world. They will tell you themselves. I chat with them, I ask them if some of them have a bank account. I tend to tell them save their money, save more than they spend. Focus on your children.
She took the opportunity to encourage the contestants to make the best of the opportunity given to them.
I don't want you to devalue yourself. I want you to stand firm. Now they might see you in a half-naked state and figure, oh, I never know she looks so good. I want you now to take this opportunity that you put on stage to hold up your heads, go back to school, go and look for a job.
The event organizer said since the inception of the Miss Young Mothers pageant over 5 years ago, participation interest has been increasing steadily. The 7 contestants told SVG-TV their participation in the show has been rewarding thus far, and assured patrons that they have a lot to offer on the big nights.
I hope to gain a high level of self-esteem, confidence, and experience.
I'm doing this one for my son, so I'm hoping to take that crown home. Persons can expect nothing but the best. I'm gonna go out there and put my best foot forward and give you guys a well-packaged show.
Not on the show, what I have is a lot of talents and intelligence. I have my beauty to show and a lot of more things that people know I don't have, but I know I have it myself. So when I finish with this show, I'm going to look for a job. But first, I'm going back into school because I did not make it at the time.
In this village that I came from, we don't gain a lot of respect because we are young mothers. We get pregnant a little earlier than we're supposed to. So I'm expecting to get little confidence, respect, and to bring my child up in the right way. So when he or she sees his mom, they would say, that is my mom.
It has experienced me to peers, people in my age group, so it gave me an opportunity to socialize with them and interact on a regular basis. And I hope that it can build me up more. All of the lectures and the talk that I've been getting from Mrs. Christopher have been very good, positive, and help to build me up.
I know that this will make my kids proud because they're already saying they want to play with the crown, and I just want to bring it for them. I just want to make them proud, make my mom proud, make everybody proud.
On the night shift, I'm going to just go and do my best and make, not just Sylvia's and young mothers proud.
The event, which takes place on October 26th at the LIAT Court, will include 5 judged categories: introduction in Amazon wear, swimwear, talents, evening gown, and interview. Nolisha Miller, The Evening News.